Well, good morning, ILEA. It's 6:30 a.m. here in Melbourne, Australia. Good afternoon to our American and Canadian members, and I think it's very late evening in United Kingdom, Europe, and also Middle East members, and Nigeria. So I'm Jennifer Trithewey, and for the next 30 minutes, I am your current international president. And on behalf of my amazing ILEA Board of Governors and the ILEA headquarters team, we're delighted to have you all join us. And I think there's over 400 members from around the world today for our official 2020 annual general meeting. And it's going to be a sensational hour and a half. It's vital more than ever to celebrate our successes and share our journey, to reward those who have worked tirelessly and help get us through what has been an extremely challenging time. And we are delighted to look towards our future and welcome those who are game enough to join us along our adventure with us. Now, I'm quickly going to show you the agenda so you know what's happening and when it's happening. So I'm going to be saying a few words shortly, and then we're going to be outlining the state of the association. We're then going to recognise our 2019-2020 leaders. Then the exciting part, we have in the oath of office to welcome our 2021 ILEA Board of Governors. Then our future president, Dana, will be giving her vision for 2021. And then we're going to have our awards presentation and then closing remarks. So joining me today to assist with our presentation is our amazing and tenacious Treasurer Secretary, Alex Gorion, and the passionate and devoted, about to be International President of ILEA, Dana McCauley. And as I said before, when we were just chatting before we came online, I wish I was standing beside these guys right now, introducing them. Look, I do want to mention that Sarah Gruff, our immediate past president, was going to join us, but we are excited to announce that she had her little baby boy, Brady, only a few days ago. Mother and baby are doing well, but we're going to miss her terribly on the call today. So for me, it's been an absolute honour to have been your president. Actually, I was looking at our list of past presidents yesterday, and I'm seriously humbled to be standing up there beside so many talented and experienced people. But I can honestly say that in the 13 years of being involved with ILEA, I've never ever felt so grateful and so privileged to be a part of this association as I did this year. We're not actually a normal association, and I've been involved with several other over the last 25 years, and we cannot ever underestimate the power of the talent and the knowledge and the experience and the devotion that lives within ILEA and its members. It's totally unique and palpable. It's been a tough year, absolutely, but it's also been a year of consolidation. And as many of you would have seen throughout your career, when the going gets tough, it's a real eye-opener to see who comes with you for the roller coaster ride. And wow, did we have the right people at the right time in the right roles this year? It was seriously extraordinary. We're all doers. We manage events. We deal with crisis. We have to solve problems on the run. And true leaders pick themselves up. They just dust themselves off, accept that, you know what, this is the hand we have been dealt with. Let's go do what we need to do to fix it. And we have to support our people, our members. We do whatever it takes for the greater good and the survival of our organisation. And, you know, all of these qualities I just mentioned, that is what I experienced this year. That is what I saw, and that is what I felt. All of you here on the screen around the world, you, the chapter presidents, the directors, the board members, our members around the world, you are the ones that kept us going. You are the ones that consistently thought outside of the box. You were creative, agile, committed, loyal, driving engagement on social media with virtual events and happy hours, education, motivational, inspiration, online events. There is just no way that we as a board could have done this without any of you this year. We had many one-on-ones with chapters around the globe, and honestly, you told us how it was. You told us what you needed. You inspired us to move forward and get the job done. And it really has been a turning point, I think, on so many levels. I just want to briefly reflect on the first 6 months of my year. It started in Minneapolis at ILEA Live 2019, and that seems such a long time ago, and I see so many Minneapolis chapter faces, but Megan and Jody, Christy, Ruth, amazing group of professionals. You all put on an ILEA Live that I think was one of the best ever. You rocked it, from Prince and Purple Rain to, you know, the offsite events and global event forum, and what about the amazing gala? Ryan Hansen, Matt, JC, you seriously set the bar very high. So when the Board of Governors left Minneapolis, we had a very clear vision. We were excited. We had committed to a lot of good positive change, and we also knew we had to make some tough decisions to get to that goal of positive change, but we were on a really strong path to follow our strategic plan, and we had shared that with you in Minneapolis. We'd also made some really large financial commitments with Yardstick, our new exam provider for CSEP, and also to MCI to conduct that, you know, the vital research, because we needed to look at where we were at as an association and where we needed to be, because the global event landscape, even pre-COVID, had changed dramatically. And, you know, we were excited knowing we needed to change. We wanted to have a professional company on the outside looking in with fresh ears and eyes to guide us and advise us on what we needed to do to take us into the next 5 years. So we were on a really clear path. And then COVID hit, and it hit right in late February, early March. At the same time, we received the outcomes of our research. So, you know, the timing was pretty lousy. And like all of us around the world, this absolutely flipped us on our lid. We rounded up the troops and everyone got on board, and we tried to change our plans and refocus, but things just kept on changing daily. But what was really interesting, amongst all this chaos and instability, the most overwhelming thing happened. The membership engagement was just off the charts. Our members needed us urgently. They needed their association. They needed their colleagues and peers. They needed information, support and guidance. And that is when we quickly coordinated the COVID-19 task force. And for many, and it still is, you know, it's the lifeline for our members and their businesses over the last few months. And I really need to give a very big shout out to Dustin Westling, Lisa Marks and Corinne Kessel. You know, they played, you know, they pulled together communications and the webinars, the people, the messaging. They literally worked on this full time for months, and they were just brilliant. And I also want to just add in there that Lisa Marks had only been on the board for 10 days. So she was, that was a serious baptism of fire for her, but we're so lucky to have her at that time. So a few months later, we were incredibly excited to not only appoint MCI as our new administration management company in ILEA headquarters. And I have to say that saying that we were relieved was an understatement. June the 1st couldn't have come quickly enough. And to Amy Dotson Sibley and Alexandra, Chris and the ILEA HQ team, you've just been spectacular and so patient, so professional and so event focused. It's been a really surreal experience. But just before I finish, I want to just change tact a little bit and leave a message for you all. And I know that Dana will touch on this later, but it's a topic that I feel strongly about and ILEA feels strongly about, and I know many of our members do as well. But the human race can only survive if we collaborate and be proud standing alongside each other and walking beside each other, speaking up for each other and not being afraid to embrace our differences. And it's one thing to embrace diversity, but it must be inclusive. And we as an organisation have not only established the Diversity and Inclusion Task Force, but we will promise we'll ensure this is always at the forefront of everything we do. It's not going away. We must promise to hold each other to account, because it's the only way to drive change to support our global brothers and sisters. I want to say thank you so much to my board, to our board from the bottom of my heart, Sarah, Dana, Alex, Corinne, Dustin, Jen, Morgan and Lisa. I mean, seriously, to say thank you, those words really don't do it justice to what, you know, we've all gone through and what you've done over the last 6 months in particular. But, you know, here we are and we're fired up and ready to take on our next challenge. So everyone, we're going to change gear a little. It's time to recognise the people who, without them, ILEA would just not exist. But here we are, 30 years on, and continuing to be a strong, vital and supportive community for all our members around the world. So we would like to recognise our ILEA founding members, and specifically Jeff Goldblatt, who many of us know, who was the first international president. We say thank you. We're also honoured to recognise our legacy members and our Canadian emeritus members. You may see some familiar names on the screen, but they are long-time committed volunteers, and we are very proud to honour all of them today. And to our past international presidents, wow, we have so many, we must acknowledge our talented past presidents. They've invested 8 years as directors and officers, and then international president and past president. It's a long time, it's a massive commitment, and we just thank every single one of you on here for your service. As a non-profit organisation, we can't survive without our global partners. We can't survive without our global partners. And, you know, these are the ones who are always there to support and invest in us. So to Court Events, Hello Destination Management and Giants Enterprises, we give huge thanks and are incredibly grateful for your ongoing support. And as you're all aware, we announced a partnership with BizBash as our media partner, and we really look forward to the next couple of years working with you to leverage our beloved industry. There is just so much opportunity, and hopefully you will see that all come to fruition and see that in action in 2021. So I'm going to ask, please, big round of applause to our founding members, legacy members, past presidents, and global partners and media partners. So I'm going to hand over to Alex now. He's going to give us some insight and details on the state of the association and just a little bit about our MCI consulting project and outcomes. So it's over to you, Alex.
Thank you, JT. So we're going to jump right in, give you an update on the state of our association. As JT mentioned and alluded to, we've had a really big year of a lot of strategic planning and really looking inside to us as an organization as we kind of redefine our direction and continue to drive value and impact for the future growth and sustainability of our association. And that's all through our path ahead. The path ahead is not anything new. We've been kind of talking about it all year long. We're going to just kind of highlight some of that. But with the path ahead, we redefined a little bit of our vision and our mission, and I think it's worth just taking a second to read that. With our vision, all live events delivered through intentional design by recognized professionals, and our mission of ILEA advances the live events industry by creating an inclusive global community dedicated to personal and business development and inspiration to elevate all professionals engaged in live events. And that really is at the core of everything that we do. And the path ahead was developed with 4 core sections and really has become a roadmap for us to drive ILEA through 2022. And this was approved by the ILEA Board of Governors in April of 2019. And with that, we've created some short and midterm action plans, and has really been our path and our foundation of everything that we're doing. And then with, just to kind of double click a little bit into that, some of those strategic plan and key themes are around a visionary perspective that focuses on the long-term success of our association, our industry, and our member needs. And ILEA is focused on diversity and inclusion as we've been talking about all year long, and diversity and inclusion at all levels of our organization, including seeking out and creating educational resources in areas where we can improve on this. And we're committed to a plan that is welcoming to the whole industry, that takes into consideration different perspectives, disciplines, and the geographic reach of our organization. And one of the positions that the live events industry is essential, and really focusing on legitimizing the profession that we're all in, and the commoditization that matters, where everyone is valued. And all of this all fuels us to push our industry forward and ultimately lead to more success in our individual careers and businesses, both personally and professionally. And continuing on some of those themes and the work that we've been doing is we've been creating a platform for our community. So we've been looking at what are our technology offerings and our integration. We've been talking a lot about the integration of new databases, but really in addition to some of the technology piece is that fierce sense of belonging. One that really truly is, I think, a unique selling proposition for ILEA. We talk about it in all of it, the camaraderie that we have with each other, the way that we support each other. I mean, it truly is special what we have as an association, and it really comes through in everything that we're doing, not only on the international level, but also on the local level with chapters. And as we kind of look at that, you know, as part of our strategic planning, we've really looked at what is the demographic and profiles of our member and what are their needs and what are their desires, and really looking at creating some experiential learning, experiential focused opportunities, and combining that strategic right and left brain thinking and the balance of the creative and strategic and the professional, and really kind of looking at the entire live events industry. And, you know, with all of this, on the path ahead, you know, we ultimately want to ensure the short-term stability and the long-term stability of the association. We're confident we're on the right track to add value to our members, chapter leaders, and contribute to the success of our businesses and rebuilding our industry, and really looking at the long-term business model of our association and how it supports our members on the local levels, and really looking at some of the diversified revenue streams. And with that on our strategic plans, obviously there's the financial stability on there, and looking at our planning for our 2019-20 budget and then into 2021. Over this past year, we took a lot of time in looking at our overhead expenses. We've done a lot of work in reducing a lot of our administrative costs. We modified, prior to bringing on our new headquarters team, we modified our scope of work with our team, and really looking at positioning ourselves in a net positive opportunity. And, you know, because as we go throughout the year, we had some unexpected expenses, and really kind of looking at some ways to reduce those expenses and finding new revenue opportunities. And during that period, as JT mentioned, we went through the strategic consulting and program audit with MCI, and they really helped us really evaluate our entire association from the bottom up and top down, and really kind of look at what are we delivering to our members and what is our path forward, and this is the result of all of that. And so with that, we transitioned to our new association management partner with MCI. And then also with some of the suggestions with that too, we did our database upgrade and some of the transition plans with that. And also there's some other technology work that we're doing behind the scenes, but ultimately it's identifying and assessing ILEA's current value proposition and making sure that we're monitoring and reducing our expenses and maximizing revenue opportunities. So as we go into our finances, as treasurer and secretary, I wanted to report back on where we're at with the financial state of the association. And we closed out the 2019-2020 fiscal year with $1,466,000 in total revenue. 68% of that revenue was received from our membership dues and fees. And the next highest revenue source was ILEA Live with 19%, and our Spree Awards with 6% of our total revenue. And then the remaining percentage is with the CSEP exam and recertification fees, our investments accounts, global event forum, global partnership program, all for the remaining 7% of our revenue. And as mentioned throughout the year, and we've been looking at our core programs to assess our ROI. We've transitioned to Yardstick and our exam update for the CSEP, and really preparing for some of our transition to our new database. And we developed a new plan for ILEA Live and the Spree Awards for 2020 to revision and bring a net positive financial model to that. and then also curating the virtual events this year and the redesign of all of these programs that will move forward into the 2021 program year. And then as we look at our expenses, our total expenses are $1,446,284. And our largest expense in the year was our member and chapter services, which is to be expected, adds up to 46% of our total expenses, followed by ILEA Live at 25%, and our CSCP program at 9%. And the other expenses include our Esprit Awards program, our communications and technology platforms, governance, chapter expenses, global event forum, global partner program, all that add up to 20% of our total expenses. And we are projecting a small net positive for this fiscal year, as you can see. We are projecting a deficit for the next fiscal year, but we did draw down on some of our reserves to balance out our financial responsibilities, investing in some of these initiatives that will help keep us viable and sustainable in the future. And we have realigned our staffing and operations model, as we mentioned, with our core programs to continue to assess our ROI and value to our members while minimizing expenses. From here, I'd like to turn it over to Dana and take us through some of the remaining core sections of our path ahead.
Thanks so much, Alex, and thanks so much for all of your work as Secretary and Treasurer. It definitely was a big year to work through all of that. And so with the path ahead, there are also 3 other quadrants. So I'll just touch on those briefly as part of the state of the association, and some of this JT mentioned a little bit earlier. But first of all, the next quadrant, collaborating with key stakeholders to promote the importance of industry standards. Very big deal to us. So as everybody knows, we did the whole CSEP exam overhaul and working on transition to Yardstick. And by we, I mean the task force and committee who have done such incredible work. So the task force has completed the job task survey, the new exam blueprint, the question writing, incredible. And then the committee working on the reinstatement policy. And then also we'll be launching soon a new pricing model, separating the application and the exam fee. So it's a little bit easier to go through the process. And then the exam is still estimated to launch on time in October 2020. So all of you who are getting ready, please keep on studying. We look forward to welcoming you as a CSEP, and registration will be opening very soon. Also, very importantly, in promoting the importance of industry standards is all of the work that's been done over the years with the Global Event Forum, which we recently hosted the 3rd Global Event Forum in Minneapolis, and then had so many great conversations with the full group of everybody who attended ILEA Live, and then webinars following. It was a continuation of the Global Event Summit that began in 2016 in Scotland, and the 2018 Global Event Forum in Denver. And if you haven't looked at the report yet, it's an incredible body of work. It's really, you know, about how live event professionals differ from non-professionals. And it's not just the product, it's the process. So ILEA released the 2019 Global Event Forum report, demonstrating value through process transparency, which outlines 10 principles of event strategy, design, and execution that enables live events professionals to demonstrate the value of the event planning process to the clients. The product is amazing, but the process takes a lot of brain power. So, and then the next quadrant is about growing and engaging a diverse global community connected by a culture of inspiration and belonging. So this really over the past year, you know, looking to grow our community. Obviously, this is a challenging time for that. And as JT mentioned, going into this new membership year, we conducted virtual town halls, chapter leader roundtables, one-on-one calls with different chapters to really get a better understanding of what everyone is going threw out there what is similar across all of the regions and some of the key differences that different chapters are facing based on their particular region. And out of that, the Membership and Marketing Committee and a task force of leaders came together and rolled out the payment plans and the request for support program, and then also the ILEA chapter leader membership rate to ensure that our chapters have a viable path forward. It's so important in order to support our members during these challenging times and the industry as a whole. We also recently held the virtual chapter leader summit. We were always planning to be virtual this year, and I know at first people were like, oh man, we really want to get together face to face. Little did we know that that was not going to be possible, so we were ahead of the curve with what we had planned. And we had more chapter leaders than ever before. It was a great success. We had chapter leaders attending from across the United States, Canada, and the EMEA regions. And thank you all for tuning in. We also, and by we, I mean a text went out late at night on March 15th or 17th, I don't even remember exactly when, that became a task force that became this incredibly robust series of COVID-19 resources for not only our members, but the entire live events community. The webinar series was incredible. You'll see more in a few minutes of the impact of that in the year in review video. But those became the ILEA keynote, ILEA forum, ILEA strong, and tomorrow I think is the grand finale of Clear Head, Strong Mind. And also the ILEA Hub resource page and the request support for an initiative portal. And then there was an incredible diversity and inclusion session, which followed by a member survey, and now this incredible task force that is coming together to make sure that, as Alex mentioned, that we continue to have a path forward. And then the final quadrant, which is to create a comprehensive and sustainable professional development strategy that defines and delivers a platform for knowledge and idea sharing that benefits and is accessible to all members. And I remember when we were doing this part, we talked about meeting our members wherever you are. We didn't know at that time how virtual connections were going to blossom and grow during this time. We talked about and launched the ILEA education portal following ILEA Live 2019 last year in Minneapolis. We had our educational spotlight webinars, which were terrific and happening every month, but those really transitioned into those wonderful webinar series that launched over the course of the past months. And while it's been a challenging time, of course, for our live events community, we have come together to support one another in our association, our chapters, and our members, and we've accomplished so much over the 2019-2020 year. Thank you, Jennifer, aka JT, for your incredible dedication. I know you knew it was going to be a tough year going in. You had no idea what was in store for you, and you led throughout the entire time with such grace. So thank you so much, and now I'm going to hand things back over to you. JT, you're on mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for those kind words. It's been an honor, as I said before. But now what we want to do is share with you the most amazing product that's been pulled together by ILEA headquarters team, Chris Durso, Amy and Morgan Doan. It's our year in review. Please enjoy it for the next 5 minutes, and I'll get back to you after we show you the video. Yay! Fantastic. That is the year that was, and I hoped you all enjoyed the content as much as you did the soundtrack by all those comments on the chat room. Fantastic work. It was an amazing year, and thank you so much for putting that together. It's just brilliant. So that is the year that was. We are now going to touch on and recognise our 2019-2020 Board of Governors, and also to acknowledge our outgoing Board of Governor members. And this is very bittersweet for us. But first to Morgan Doan, who rolls off the board today. I just want to say, Morgan, you've been such an amazing, committed director. We have valued your amazing attention to detail, your diligence and your creative talent. We're excited that you're going to stay on for ILEA Live for 2021 and drive that project. So we know that you are not very far away, but it's been a pleasure, and we're going to miss you very much, having you on the board. To Alex Goriaron. Now that is how you pronounce Alex's name. He taught me that yesterday, Alex Goriaron. And as I said 10 days ago, we didn't think that we'd be saying farewell so soon. You have been a part of ILEA for over 17 years. You are an amazing talent. And when I said earlier that we had the right people at the right time in the right roles this year, you nailed it. It was a tough one, but we know you're always going to be there for us, and we can't thank you enough for what you have done for us over the last few years. And Sarah Gruff, and I think she's actually on the call. Is Sarah? She is. Okay. I'm so pleased that she could join us for a short time. Honestly, we wouldn't actually be here without Sarah. Appointing a new management company, the MCI Education Partnership. MPI Education Partnership. Sorry. There's just too many things to mention. She was integral in driving change. She's one of the smartest people I know. You deserve a break. Enjoy your family time now. But I know it's not going to be for long, because we've certainly got her earmarked for a few roles for the next 12 months. So go have your break, and we look forward to seeing you back very soon. But we're going to miss you terribly. We're going to miss you all terribly. It's been, as I said, we've sort of bonded, and particularly in the last 12 months. So thank you so much to all of you. One of my goals for this year was to work more closely with the RVPs and bring them closer to the fold. And have them more involved at board level, keep them communication flowing, and give them all what they need to work at the coalface with their chapters. And I think that we really have achieved that, and they've certainly stepped up and done a brilliant job. You know, just remember, the RVPs are the ones that are there talking face to face with our members and our chapters. So they are really, really important to this organisation. So to Kevin Molesworth, India Rhodes, Christian Porsche, Monique Jeffrey, and Tiffany Rosier in the USA. Also to Liz Nutting, our chair for the Canadian affiliate, and Jane Haig, who is based in London. She's our EMEA, our Europe, Middle East and Africa RVP. You're all rock stars. You have raised the bar, and seriously, we know that ILEA is in very good hands with you guys coming up through the ranks. So thank you so much for what you have done for the last 12 months. I also want to recognise and congratulate our international committee chairs and task force chairs who have worked tirelessly, as I'm sure everyone would understand. Alex and Sarah, Tom Cura, membership and marketing, Gwen McNutt, professional development, and Nicole Zena, CSEP. Thank you so much for all of your support and commitment over the last 12 months. Also to our task force chairs, Sally Webb, CSEP, JC York, our Mr. Esprit, ILEA Live, Lisa Marks, Megan Johnson, Spirit of Excellence, and of course Morgan Doan for the virtual award celebration. Your commitment, your patience has been inspiring. So thank you all so much for all what you have done. Also, and I did mention it in my speech, but we do need to make a very special mention to our ILEA COVID-19 task force, Dustin, Lisa and Corinne. Honestly, as I said, they've worked full-time pulling together the program and content, and it was a massive undertaking, and they just got on and did it. So thank you so much. Please, round of applause for all of the incredible support for our board members and our task force chairs and RVPs as well. So we just want to touch on, as you know, CSEP is, it's very important. We're going to focus on that for the next few years. It's important for us to acknowledge our new CSEPs. You all should be very proud of your achievement. We've also had, and we've listed them all there, as you can see, and I'm sure that you'll recognise many names. We've also had a significant amount of members who recertified. So we do say congratulations and thank you for continuing your education with ILEA. And we also have several emeritus CSEPs, and we do want to recognise them and thank them for their support over the years. So now, we come to the oath of office, and it's a very proud moment for all of us at the AGM. And I think you'll all agree, nothing beats face to face, because it would be so wonderful to be on stage with all these incredible people. So I invite the 2020-2021 Board of Governors to get ready to be sworn in. And a huge welcome to our new board members, Sarah Sisner, CSEP, to Bobby Dutton, Ryan Hansen, CSEP, Megan Johnston, CSEP, and Tiffany Rosier. Returning on the board is Lisa Marks, Jim Riley, Jen Poyer, CSEP, and our executive committee, Dustin Westling, Secretary Treasurer, Corinne Kessel, President-elect, CSEP, and your incoming International President, Dana McCauley, CSEP. So I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand and ask you to read along with me as we say the ILEA Oath of Office. Are we all ready?
Yes.
I pledge to abide by the bylaws and principles of professional conduct and ethics upon which ILEA was founded, and to uphold the integrity of the office to which I have been elected. I hereby make a firm commitment to promote the highest level of ethics within the special events industry and to serve the members of ILEA to the best of my ability. Ladies and gentlemen, please congratulate your new 2020-2021 ILEA Board of Governors. Yay! Congratulations, everyone. Just before I want to say a few words before Dana officially takes the stage. It's my pleasure to introduce someone who has been a mentor and longtime supporter of Dana, Mike Haney, the Executive Director of Sonoma County Vintners. Mike has nearly 30 years experience as a professional in the wine industry. He has extensive experience in fundraising, government relations, marketing and administration. So everyone, please welcome Mike Haney.
Thank you so much and good afternoon. It's a real honor and pleasure to be with all of you today, but also to have an opportunity to introduce someone who is not only a great friend and a great colleague, but someone who's very special here in Sonoma County. You know, during the last 5 years, I've had the great pleasure of working with and getting to know Dana McCauley. And during that time, Dana and I have worked on countless events and programs ranging from the Super Bowl to groups from literally all over the country and all over the world. But you know, on the flip side, Dana and I also have had to work through and get through 2 California wildfires, uh, record floods here in Sonoma County, multiple PG&E power shutoffs, as well as, of course, a global pandemic. But I'm here to tell you, during those challenges, Dana was not only relentless in her mission to find solutions to these problems and to the impacts they had on our community, but each and every day she did it with a smile on her face and an incredibly open heart. You know, Dana's leadership and her work with our Sonoma County Vintners Foundation, and particularly our charity auction, has resulted in over $25 million being raised. And that's just in the last 5 years, with that money going to over 100 charitable nonprofit organizations here in Sonoma County and benefiting thousands and thousands of people. But you know, each and every day we all hear words like passion and dedication and caring and service and team. You know, I'm here to tell you that these aren't just words to Dana, they are Dana. And, you know, finally, when I had the chance recently to connect with Dana, I really wanted to ask her what ILEA meant to her. And she immediately said, ILEA changed my life. And she said, the members of ILEA are literally my family. And I can tell you from the Dana McCauley I know, that was straight from her heart. So it is with a great honor and pleasure to introduce and welcome to you all today your 2020-2021 ILEA International President and my dear friend, Dana McCauley. Cheers.
Whew. Thank you so much, Mike, for joining today to introduce me and to meet our incredible ILEA family. I was hoping to be inviting you down to San Francisco this week to join us in person, but you can see over this Zoom what an amazing group of people we have in our ILEA family. And thank you so much, Mike. I mean, you are truly a mentor to me. Working with you, watching you lead and support our team, advocating for our members and our community, you inspire me every day to be a better team member and a better leader for Sonoma County Vintners and for ILEA and for our entire live events community. Thank you so much, Mike. Sending a special thank you to everybody on our incredible team at Sonoma County Vintners and to my family. My dad and Marge, mom, my sister Lauren, who's on the Zoom today, my East Coast and West Coast family and friends all around the country and around the world. To all of you, I thank you for your love and support. Before I look ahead to the vision for the coming year, I'd like to share a little bit more about my ILEA journey, which began as I transitioned from working in restaurant management and hospitality over to the wine industry and launching event programs for wineries, doing experiential marketing, getting people to understand what experiential marketing even was, and managing our incredible auctions here in Sonoma County to support our community. This career journey led me to ILEA and this incredible group of event professionals around the world. I already cried a little bit. I'm going to try to get through the rest of this without choking up, but everybody who's been on recent Zooms with me knows that that's probably not possible, so just bear with me. So just a little look back, I was working at Sagazio Family Vineyards and launching a new events program. And I interviewed, and by interviewed, I mean, I cold called other people at other wineries that had events programs and said, can I come ask you some questions? And they were all great. They said yes. And I brought my 4 pages of in-depth questions to learn more about how to put together this program. So yeah, I interviewed a lot of other winery event planners and producers, and along the way, one of them asked me if I had heard of ILEA. Well, of course, back then we were ISIS, we all know. And they told me about a new chapter that was starting in Napa, Sonoma, a sister chapter to Northern California. And I was invited to join the meeting about the chapter in formation, where I knew 2 people. From there, I became one of the first 50 members to join ILEA Napa, Sonoma. And about 6 months later, the chapter president at the time, a lot of you will remember Jenny Hone, asked if I would join the chapter board. That was the question that changed my life forever and led me to all of you and our ILEA community. It wasn't so much just joining as a member, but getting involved on the board as a director and then a VP and a chapter president, where I became so inspired by hearing about all of the other chapters and the great work that they were doing to support our members. And around that time, I went to my first ILEA International Leadership meetings and ILEA Live. And I knew only a handful of people from our local chapters. And I met so many new friends from around the globe and really found some mentors in our industry. I drank from the ILEA fountain. And, you know, the rest is really history. I was hooked. I threw my hat in the ring for the international roles, and thank you to those that were on the nomination committees at the time for believing in me and giving me this honor to step up, first as RVP on international committees and now onto the ILEA Board of Governors. I've learned so much from all of you, both personally and professionally, throughout this journey. ILEA has taught me so many valuable leadership skills, which I employ at my job and in my ILEA role. And it's really about how by working together, we can truly make a difference. It has been and is an honor and such a pleasure to serve with all of you, our passionate and dedicated ILEA volunteers, team, and family. And to know that we're here for each other in good times and challenging times. We support each other and everyone in the live events industry. Our founding ILEA leaders had a vision over 30 years ago and set us on this course to become the association that we are today. And together, we'll continue their journey and create the ILEA of the future and guide our association for the years to come. Going into the year ahead as ILEA International Presidents, we may think we have a vision for leading. However, most importantly, we know that we must be flexible and adjust course as needed with the unforeseen and change always on the horizon. If you asked me a year ago what I envisioned for 2020, 2021, it would have centered around the incredible changes that we have invested in over the course of the year. The new CSEP exam launch, professional development opportunities and webinars, the new unconference model we were so excited for ILEA Live, the incredible thought leadership, and the culmination of the strategic planning, the consulting project with MCI, and the transition to our new management partner and team. A vision of charting a course of both stability and also continued growth after an incredible time of change and innovation. Little did I know how much change would be headed our way. During my time on the ILEA Board of Governors, we've strived to be more nimble in making decisions and steering this very large ILEA ship. We're not just a bicycle, that is ILEA, and really challenging ourselves to keep the focus on the core objectives and the initiatives that truly provide value for our members and ensuring financial stability for the short and long-term viability of our association. And as Alex shared on the State of the Association, we had budgeted very carefully. We had made strategic investments in ILEA for the years ahead. And while this all started pre-COVID, these investments could not have come at a better time to ensure that we truly have a bright future ahead for our association as we work to reset, rebuild, and ensure best practices for our industry. In the coming year, we will be incredibly mindful as a Board of Governors and focused on the financial impacts of the global pandemic on our live events industry and our entire association. We will continue to stay hyper-focused on providing value and ongoing support to our ILEA's members, leaders, and live events community. One thing that remains unchanged over all of these 30+ years, and is resoundingly clear, we do have a very fierce sense of belonging. ILEA is so much more than the sum of our members. It's exponential, and we are dear, dear friends and family. And it's been so incredible to see everyone come together over the past months to support each other and become even more connected than we were before through virtual platforms. Let's continue this momentum for the year ahead and beyond. And to our members, please get more involved in your local chapter and support your local community. Now is the time. To our chapter leaders, stay connected with all of these other incredible chapter leaders around the globe. Continue to share resources with each other, to share the resources that we're posting from ILEA International. And please make a commitment to join all of the upcoming ILEA town halls, your VP roundtable calls, your president's calls with your RVPs. And please, over the course of the year, keep us posted on the Board of Governors and the headquarters team can support you throughout the year. To our RVPs, International Committee Chairs, Board of Governors, and ILEA headquarters team, thank you for your commitment to support our leaders and members throughout the year. And a huge thank you to our founding ILEA members who created our association, to all of our past international presidents. I'm honored to be in your company. To the board members, international and chapter leaders, and to all of our ILEA members. Your contributions have brought ILEA to where we are today, and together we will continue to reimagine and build a strong future for the live events industry. Thank you. Sibley, if you can flip to the next slide. So it's my pleasure to introduce you to the 2020-2021 ILEA International volunteers and our dedicated headquarters team. First of all, I'd like to recognize the 2020-2021 regional vice presidents and affiliate chair. And so to our US RVPs, I'd like to say a thank you to our returning folks, Kevin, India, and Monique. Thank you so much for coming back for another year to support the chapters in your regions. And to Barb and Carla, thank you for signing on for an incredible ride with us. And to our, welcome to our EMEA and New Canada affiliate chair, Tara and Jane. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey. And then I'd really like to also welcome our international committee chairs. Some of them will be familiar faces that you recognize joining for a second year. Tom, Gwen, thank you for coming back to lead the charge. And to Jody for certification, and Morgan, thank you so much for coming back for ILEA Live. More to come on that. You guys stay tuned. And of course, JT for setting us up for the coming years by being on the nominating committee. And Alex, I'm sure that you are glad to bequeath your torch over to Dustin for finance and audit. And then for our task force chairs, and also I should say for all of the folks that are joining on as members on these committees and task force, we know who you are, and thank you, and we're so excited for the incredible work that you will do. So Sally, thank you for staying on for the CSEP task force as we launch the new exam in October. And Steve, we're so incredibly excited to launch our new diversity and inclusion task force with you at the helm, and to continue the momentum of the Global Event Forum. JT, thank you for signing on. And this might be a grand finale year, we'll see, where JC passes the torch as Mr. Esprit. And Megan is excited to pass the torch for Spirit of Excellence Awards to Nayla. So thank you guys all for stepping up. But additionally, not on this slide, we have a special new task force that has been initiated. It's a partnership and stewardship task force. We know now more than ever, we need to diversify our revenue streams to continue to bring in money to support the incredible programs and provide value to our members. So for the new task force members, Sarah Grauf, CSEP, see, we didn't let her head to the island, and returning from the island, Jody Collins, CSEP, and of course, Lisa Marks from the Board of Governors, and Jen Poyer, CSEP, who is the liaison to this task force. Thank you for stepping up. It's such an important job. And then next, I would like to say, oh my gosh, to our incredible new ILEA headquarters team who literally hit the ground running. And of course, during our busiest time ever, as we had chapter leader summits, we launched our new membership on the fiscal calendar. And and the AGM and all of these training sessions we've done with the RVPs and committee chairs. So thank you guys all for just jumping right in. So it's been an incredible few months. We have incredible years ahead. So for all of you guys on the call today, we have a video to share and introduce you to our incredible new team. So please join me in welcoming everyone.
I really enjoy all types of award programs. I've helped produce, write, or direct more than 25 award shows in the last 2 decades. These are wonderful opportunities to bring people together to recognize the best and brightest in the profession. From the moment the red carpet opens, I love that adrenaline rush. And yes, I also tune in to all of the TV, movie, music, and theater award shows. One day, I hope to don a headset and help with the Golden Globes.
I love baseball. I love the Washington Nationals. And going to a Nationals game, especially with my family, is just a great way to connect with them and to connect with the whole city and the whole community. And also be outside and eat hot dogs and drink beer.
Events are a huge part of my life, whether attending political galas, producing festivals or prime proms for my local LGBTQ+ community, or of course, planning and staffing association events and conferences. My favorite event ever was at a venue called La Kai up in the mountains of Sandy, Utah. It looked like we had been transported to a magical Snow White world with peacocks, big furry bunnies, and flamingos roaming free and even walking among reception attendees. It was really special, and I always think about that immersive experience when planning events.
Hands down, my favorite part of any event is a good photo op. Not pictured are my clipboard, my 5th cup of coffee of the day, and my most comfortable pair of on-site shoes.
Hi, my name is Latrice Wallace, and I love to travel. Anytime I have the chance or opportunity to travel, I am ready to go. Whether it is by plane, train, automobile, boat, well, maybe not car, I am ready. What a chance to go somewhere and get totally immersed in the culture. I always ask the hotel staff, where should I go? What should I do? Where should I eat? I can't wait till the pandemic is over so I can start traveling again.
Events are about bringing people together to celebrate, together to learn, and together to grow. My favorite moments are those on site with my team where we celebrate the successes, learn from the challenges, and grow as a group.
Nothing matches the energy of a live event. I love being a part of bringing people together. In the course of my career, I've worked across 10 industries, from automotive to cosmetics and everything in between. Events has been the common denominator in every portfolio. Live events are the glue that holds brands and people together. I thrive on being a part of building human connection, education, and most importantly, the fun that comes with live events.
Whether concert hall lights go down, the bright stage lights flip on, the audience claps as our concertmaster walks out to tune, then our conductor walks out and immediately lifts his baton for us to play. I'm Alexandra Long, and this is my happy place. I've played the violin for almost 20 years now, and the Manassas Symphony has 5 incredible concerts each year. It's always been a dream of mine as a little girl to play in a big recital hall for an audience. I get goosebumps every time I walk out on stage. It's electrifying, and the adrenaline is incredible as we play our piece.
This is a photo of my husband, my daughter, and myself at a DC United season ticket holder members only event. As a family, we really enjoy DC United soccer. It's always a fun night out in DC. This evening was just that. Food prepared by top DC chefs, a meet and greet with the players, and the DC skyline in the background. Just spectacular.
Thank you. We are so excited to be working with our incredible new ILEA team and looking forward to you guys getting to connect with them throughout the year. I am now going to turn it back over to JT, so take yourself off mute. JT, are you there? So JT is going to kick off our ILEA Awards presentation with a few words, and then we'll hand over and start presenting.
Okay, I don't have the list in front of me. So Dana, I might get you to introduce, if you wouldn't mind, at the beginning, because I've just actually lost I've got some
Yeah,
issues.
so I think one of the things we wanted to share is, this year we have our incredible virtual award celebration coming up, but we always give out our ILEA International Member Awards during the annual general meeting. And so the work that these leaders have done over the course of the past year and the course of ILEA's history is absolutely incredible. And we really wanted to take a few moments to recognize some incredible members of our community. So I'm going to pass over to Alex to introduce the first two awards.
Great, thank you, Dana and JT. So it's always great to be able to highlight some of the great work that some of our leaders are doing out there in our association. And the first category of the award is our Volunteer of the Year. It's no secret who this is, so I'm just gonna jump right in this. This year's Volunteer of the Year is being awarded to Tom Cura. Tom Cura, over this past year, stepped up to be the chair of the International Committee for Membership and Marketing. And this was the first year that these two important committees were merged together to create a cohesive, collaborative group, and thus, honestly, being a much more intensive scope of work than ever before. And Tom really met that challenge head on, and he was presented certainly with some challenges along the way, but he's always took that charge to find solutions to advance our association. And then came COVID-19, and Tom stepped up again to work with key members of our Board of Governors and volunteers to work on a revised membership strategy. And there were many, many, many meetings, several times a week, to assess, review, and update as needed to ensure the best outcomes for ILEA, our chapter leaders, and our members. And Tom, with Tom, there was never a no that came out of his mouth. He was always solution-oriented, created a team atmosphere, and made sure everyone had a voice through the committee and the outreach to chapter leaders. And personally, it was a pleasure to work side by side with Tom over this year. And I thank him for his contributions and dedication to ILEA. And Tom is with the ILEA Boston chapter and just was recently elected as president-elect as well. So I ask you all to help me congratulate Tom Cura as our ILEA International Volunteer of the Year. Thanks, Tom. I wish we were all on stage passing an award over and hugging each other here. So so please thank me and congratulating him. Throw it into the chat, show him some love, and let's keep it going. Our next award is the Medal Attitude Award, and this is, when you talk about, Dana was talking about fierce and attitude earlier. The winner of this certainly represents that. The ILEA Medal Award is presented annually to a volunteer within the association who is always willing, always perseveres, and achieves results against all odds. And we're excited to present this year's award to Kristen Portia. Yes, please clap, please clap. So Kristen Portia served as our Midwest RVP. She's just coming off her term now here in the 2019-2020 year. And while managing this region, she's provided some amazing leadership and knowledge to her peers, her region, and even on an international level with her presentations and speaking engagements. And certainly during a pandemic, it has been very challenging to be an RVP. And so in addition to managing the usual chapter needs and operations, Kristen has gone above and beyond to support her region. She's beautifully managed chapter questions, concerns, frustrations, and even sometimes a little bit of anger, and she's done it all with grace. Kristen's sense of humor, foresight, and clear communication style endear her to us all. And for those of you who know Kristen, you know her dedication and tenacity. And she has given so much of her time, talents, tears, and laughter to this organization, and no one can doubt her medal attitude. So please help me in congratulating Kristen on the Medal Attitude Award, and thank you for all you've done for our association.
I know we definitely laughed through some tears together over this year. So Tom and Kristen, just incredible. Thank you both so much. So next, it's my honor to present the J. Robert Graves Pioneer Award, named for one of the founders of ILEA, which is given to a volunteer who has significantly contributed to the growth and development of ILEA, not only through his or her creative vision, but through truly determined execution. So, wow. I mean, I think we've all seen this person behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, dressed in costumes, dressed to the nines, dressed all different ways. The J. Robert Graves Pioneer Award goes to Mr. Esprit, the incredible J.C. York. We have seen J.C. step up year after year to support ILEA and truly champion the stellar work of our members. And this year he took on more than ever before, taking over everything typically done by our headquarters team, and that is a lot of work, JC, plus all of his volunteer roles and responsibilities, and always, always with a positive attitude and creative approach to the challenges and creating solutions all along the way. So JC, please give a big wave to everyone, and congratulations and a huge thank you from all of us. See you all, we'll see you very soon. And now over to Jennifer.
Thank you, Dana. Congratulations to JC, Christian, and Tom. Amazing. It's tough. It is really tough. And particularly this year, because so many people were so incredibly supportive and passionate, and we can't thank all you enough. But I do congratulate, as I said, Tom, Christian, and JC so much for everything you've put into ILEA over the last 12 months. It's been extraordinary. Well, this is a great honour for me to present the Klaus Inkamp Lifetime Achievement Award to a very, very dedicated, passionate and long-time member of ILEA. Just a little bit of background. Her first ISIS meeting was literally life-changing. She attended her first meeting, ISIS meeting, as a college kid, and was greeted at the entrance by President Joseph Goldblatt some 30 years ago. And now, interestingly, very interestingly, at that very same event, she was to meet her business partner and best friend. And I'm pleased to say that they are still in business together, and they are still best friends. She was the first youngest member of the International Board of Governors. She won the Metal Attitude Award, and her and her business partner are both legacy members, and they continuously actively involved with ILEA. Since the inception of ISIS, then ILEA, nobody has attended more events in New York Metro than her. And during COVID, she has diligently given us updates and insights on social media. She's introduced us to ILEA New York Metro members. She's been a constant mentor and friend to the New York Metro president and board. I am absolutely delighted to announce the winner of the Klaus Inkamp Lifetime Achievement Award for 2020 goes to Jacqueline Bernstein. Yay!
Well, thank you, Jennifer. And you might hear some of what you said in my presentation today. It's not a presentation, right? It's an acceptance speech. Well, I want to thank you, Jennifer, and all those that unanimously are bestowing me an honor that I have truly given my lifetime in this profession for. I will also never forget, Jennifer, our conversation backstage that you embellished on stage when we presented Esprits together. Our personalities are very much alike, even though we are physically worlds apart. I want to acknowledge that I proudly called Klaus Inkamp, who this is named after, my colleague and friend, who is a very smart leader that we all benefit from his knowledge working at Coca-Cola and what he gave to ILEA. It is very noble to receive this in Klaus's name. So hi to everyone around the world. I saw there's someone from Transylvania where my grandpa's from. And if this was a live audience, I really would shout out many of you. So this is not going to be a normal Jack speech. Why? Because nothing's normal. I would be on stage and striking heels. I would make and hear you all out. It's normal though that this will be a long speech, but I'm gonna talk fast. Really, what else do you gotta go do? So as I sit here at home, alone, barefoot, probably like many of you, no, not pregnant, I'm going to tell you a Jack story. I was sitting home alone, barefoot, with a wind fan blowing on me. It's my new signature, just like being sleeveless, on a Zoom being videoed when Jennifer's email came in. And like all of us during this time, we're on a Zoom, we're toggling to emails, we're reading texts, we're answering phone calls, which seemed like so February. Who answers the phone now? Oh, and I was also doing online swiping dating. Hey, I can do it all. The subject line said private award. And I immediately thought, all right, something else I got to add to my to-do list, work on something for ILEA for someone's award, happy to do so. But then I read the email, and if anyone really looked at me during that Zoom, they would have seen my expression change. You would think I would have gasped and exclaimed. However, it was honestly shock and anxiousness. Of course, I still thought, my time has come. It's what I thought when me and my business partner, Robert Holzmeyer, were inducted into BizBash's Hall of Fame and then Event Solutions. In my speeches, I said that what I would love to say now. Usually you take it easy or retire after that. Well, I was way too young, and it was also 2008 and 10, and I definitely couldn't do that during the economic downturn. So now here I am being honored during a pandemic. But I have been extremely humbled as well as a little uncomfy at the same time since I got this news. This is all just so bittersweet. What a wild time to be recognized for a lifetime achievement. While I'm not shy to cry, I am frightened. Let me tell you more of the story, because if you know me, I'm all about the historical approach. Some of you know this, and some of you just heard this, so just bear with me. This all, because I could have rewritten this while Jennifer was writing this, right? So this all started when I went to the first organizational meeting of ISIS. Yes, now ILEA, I'm gonna go back and forth with those two, in New York City, because my kosher caterer boyfriend at the time knew one of the Dirty 30 founders. This was before there was a chapter, and I was a college kid with a resume. I was greeted at the entrance by our first international president, Joe Jeff, now Dr. Goldblatt, who refers to me as my event papa. Sidebar, and if you know me, I sidebar a lot. Years later, Joe Jeff had me and my business partner, Robert, be editors of the first published ILEA dictionary. And then he put a picture of our Special Events Gala Award winning event, which was also on the cover of Special Events magazine. Lisa Hurley, I know you're out there, on the cover of his second Special Events book. I love that intertwined historical, incredible history there. So at that same first ILEA event, I met who would then become my business partner and best friend, Robert, who took a liking to me, as well as I met the owner of the company we now own, who was also one of the infamous Dirty 30 as well, who signed up to start ILEA at a special event earlier that year. I then interviewed at her home 4 days later over Thanksgiving weekend. Always say I should have known then this was a crazy business. Then I started working there. So who's the crazy one? Shortly after that, there was the first business meeting of New York ILEA, and who volunteers to take the minutes? Then who volunteers to work on the first educational event of the chapter? Hey, as president of my class all 4 years in college, I figured if you want to start your career at events, and there just happens to be an event association starting at the same time, of course you should get involved with that organization and produce their events. That got you stature. I learned a lot and met many by doing, especially what not to do. So thanks, ILEA. And so it began. I was on the board of directors as a VP of Education and Programming for years, then VP of Allied Associations, then went to the conferences for professional development, then called Event World, then Alive from the third one, and I just got hooked being involved internationally. I even got a special dispensation to be on the board of governors without being in the industry for the minimum number of years. And yes, I was the first youngest board of governor to serve. I remember getting that call in the bedroom that I shared with my mommy in Brooklyn, Matt Bonavita, growing up on welfare and food stamps. I'm proud growing up that way. It's made me me. And I'm really proud always sharing that. Why? Because it makes me a caregiver of a commitment, especially to ILEA, which later then got me to do further in our community, such as founding member and board of director of the Association of Destination Management Executives International, co-chair of the Society of Incentive Travel Excellence New York Chapter Board, on the Meeting Professionals International Board here in New York, and the board of director of the very prestigious NYC and Company. All that, starting with ILEA, gave me the ability to rise professionally. I hope those a little bit younger than me are taking note. So back to a few years after that first ILEA meeting and working at that only company I ever worked at out of college, you know what? Rob and I bought that company 26 years ago. This is a shout out here to all the employees, our family team that have been with us throughout, who are also why I am receiving this. So here's a fabulous statistic for you. As a proud founding member of International and our chapter, and since the inception of our chapter, someone from our company served on the New York Metro Board of Directors for 23 years consecutively, minus just 1 year in there. That's from the beginning between the company I worked at and then Rob's own company. Then when it was our company together, it was me and Rob on the board for years. Again, our separate companies then coming together. Then 3 employees who were chapter presidents, 2 who are here today. Shout out to Jennifer Claire Scott, CSCP, and to Kevin White, CSCP. Then there were 2 others on our team that also served on the board. And since ILEA's inception, it went from just Rob and me, all the way up to 7 employees being ILEA members every year. This would be a great trivia question on all those Zoom games we are all now doing. I also served on the committee that determined the point system before there was even the Certified Special Events Professional certification. My first business trip, not for my company, on my own, was going to that ISIS CSCP point certification meeting. Oh, by the way, I never took my CSCP. I know. I always said I'm working on the letters before my name. So now it's a toss-up which one I should focus my energies on, huh? I served as the International Membership Chair and won the International Membership Recruitment Award. I was an author of ISIS Gold, ILEA's first publication. Robert and I produced with Tim Lundy, the first Klaus Inkamp Award winner, the first Esprit Awards. So JC, I got you on there. And then produced the first search event, of which Robert and I are founders. After serving international, I then became the chair of the now defunct International Past Leadership Council. Locally, I won the first Woman of the Year award, and the most prestigious honors that I have won before this one today was being given the Spirit of Excellence Leadership Medal Attitude Award and being an inaugural New York Metro Hall of Legend inductee. Besides that other cool stat I gave you, I know I honestly can state that no one, thank you Jennifer for stating that, has been to more New York ILEA events and since its inception than me. Great investment, but I really could use that cash now. It's a way of life to attend them all, right Jennifer Claire? So why did I tell you all this? Well, I figure someone should hear and know and document this and learn from this. All that is more important than any of the event experiences we do. Therefore, I am privileged to sit before you today. After working towards a lifetime achievement at ILEA, like many of you that are so involved, to share with you it has become my saying since what has happened to all of us. I, nor we, did not come this far to come this far. That's what made me anxious and so mind-bending receiving this award this year. I'm single, I have no parents, no siblings, no kids yet, only cousins, one of them's here. So this industry at ILEA and colleagues are my family because if you know me, I collect people. We joke that when I get married, it would be an ILEA collaborative event with everyone decorating a table. With this family feeling, I would go to ILEA meetings and peeps would say, why are you still so involved? Do you get any business? I would enlighten them with, and you should know this too, as an event production and destination management company, we have received the least amount of business directly because of ILEA. But I am still here because it's not about getting business. It's always been about you and all those that supported me, our company, and the business we all service. And that we're only as good to our clients as our suppliers, partners are to us. That's a mantra of our company, and that's the education that ILEA taught me. And I have used this when being so fortunate speaking at ILEA and other industry events all over the world. A qualifier for this award is giving selflessly to the industry and ILEA for an extended time. Well, I selfishly gave because what I gave to ILEA, I got back. 2 other qualifiers for this award is high ethical character and well-respected. Being a loud and proud New Yorker, you learn that respect of others is most important, especially in our world now. As for high ethical character, well, I am a character, all right. And with any mistakes I and our company have made, knowing we've always been ethical is most significant. We are New York City's longest independently and locally owned DMC, and I feel comfortable stating I am, as well as being humbled that I am, a leader, insider, a champion of New York City and live events. That's all because of starting with ILEA and so many of you. So thank you. Then that's coupled with saying these past months, and unfortunately going forward, how does a business stay in business that doesn't do business? So here I am, an ILEA legacy member. Robert and I are 2 worldwide, whereby I have a lifetime membership. I'm hoping it's what we've become and done differently that is our legacy, and revered just like a lifetime achievement award in this profession is. And even though I'm being bequeathed with this, I'm still too young. From appearing on TV in the first season of The Apprentice and the first episode about events, to now working on advocacy to save all of us financially in the live events industry as the executive VP of that coalition, I have to pray with all that ILEA and you have given me that I and you will continue with more life and achievements to come. Thanks, and I love you all.
Thank you, Jacqueline. I make it my personal goal to ensure that we do you proud. So incredible to hear your story, and thank you for all that you have done for ILEA. We so appreciate you, and congratulations to all of the award winners here today. Thank you guys for joining us. So we have a couple more things. I hope everybody will stay tuned for a few more minutes. Before we wrap today, I'm going to share more about our upcoming ILEA virtual events. But before I do, it's my pleasure to invite you to tune in for the Search from Home program, which will air directly following our ILEA annual general meeting. The link to join the event will be posted in the chat box before we wrap up today. And now it's my pleasure to introduce you to Kate Pate, CPCE, Chief Strategy Officer, Pate Consulting, Chairwoman, Search Foundation, and my very dear friend who I first met just a few years ago when we served on the ILEA Napa-Sonoma board together. And now over to Kate to say a few words about Search and today's fundraising event.
Thank you, Dana. I appreciate it. I know you stumbled on my name because you wanted to say Kate Kavalik because that's what it was when I served with you on the board.
Oh my God, the board.
My girls. Anyways, I'm here on behalf of Search. I'm going to be quick because I have to jump right onto that call. It's immediately following this. You guys, Search Special Event Assistance, Relief, and Crisis Help. You heard Jacqueline mention that in her speech as well. We assist industry individuals in crisis. And immediately following this, we'll be holding a 3-hour virtual fundraiser. Everyone is welcome to it. It's at searchfoundation.org. Like they said, they dropped that into the chat for you. Search is dedicated to crisis relief, and we are definitely in crisis right now. I do want to give a shout out to the leadership of ILEA because even when times are good, it's never easy to lead. So to be able to lead through such a difficult and tumultuous time, my hat is off to you through all of this. So everyone, all you have to do is click on the link next to this, or you go to searchfoundation.org and click on the events tab. It's going to live stream through that for you. There are some chapters that are part of the Search 100 that you'll hear about, like Chicago ILEA, or some of the great chapters like Boston, who give annually to us. Los Angeles just did a great fundraiser, and some names you know, the amazing Judy Brillhart is working with Bobby Dutton to put together a toolkit for all of the chapters to make it easier for you guys to get involved. But really tonight is just about celebrating our industry, celebrating us coming together. It's okay to laugh and enjoy yourselves during this time. So, make sure that you pour an Aperol Spritz or your drink of choice. Hop over to searchfoundation.org, and we're going to raise awareness, raise some funds tonight, and just really have a good time together. So even if you're not wearing shoes, Jack, you're still invited. It's okay. I'm in my unicorn slippers, but congrats to the ILEA board. Thank you guys for supporting Search, and I will see you in just a few minutes at searchfoundation.org. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Kate. We'll see you really soon. And thank you to Search Foundation and everyone for all that you do to support our event industry professionals in need. So now, before we head out today, it's my pleasure to invite everyone to tune back in and join ILEA for our first ever virtual award celebration on Friday, August 21st. We'll come together to honor the incredible work of both our ILEA chapters and members in one exciting evening of celebration. in my time with ILEA, this is the first time ever that we've combined these two exciting awards programs. We'll announce the winners of the Esprit Awards and celebrate the creativity and innovation in live events, as well as Spirit of Excellence Awards, recognizing excellence in ILEA chapter leadership. Please invite your friends, family, and colleagues. Dress up and celebrate from home. We're really looking forward to seeing you, and check your inboxes or the ILEAHub.com website. Amy, I think we're ready. Registration is now open. Very exciting. So we're going to take the slides down now so everybody can have one last look and actually see everybody or more everybody's faces. Thank you all for joining us for the ILEA annual general meeting, and we're looking forward to staying connected now more than ever in the coming year. So wonderful to see everybody's faces. Amy, are you gonna say a few words at the end here to take a screenshot?
Yes, I think it'd be fun if everybody could wave. So I know not everybody's on the screen, but we'd love to have a wave, and we appreciate you all being here. So 1, 2, 3. Awesome, great faces. Thanks, Dana.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. And I know a lot came up in the chat of people asking if this would be posted, and it will be posted afterwards as soon as Amy and the team have time to download everything and get it up on ILEA Hub. So thank you. I'm just going to take a few minutes and click through and see all the faces before we go ahead and sign out.